Welcome back to 4 Oak Street. You may be wondering why there was a sudden break in the last one. Well, there was a bit of a disaster, which I'll show you in a second. We'll just finish a couple of running shots by the farm. So what happened was I had the alarm, and then I spent a few minutes trying to work out had a train crept in the fiddle yard onto a point set against it, or what had happened. Anyway, eventually I realised last of all that the issue was the blue Deltic. So it was giving out this horrible smell. So once that was removed from the layout, obviously there was no alarm. So initially what we had was what looks like a cooked decoder. Then we also had a power board that at one end had started to melt. The decoder was stuck actually in the socket. I'll just bring that light down. So I had to remove the decoder by pulling pins out. So on taking it apart, I thought, well, potentially it's a board and a decoder. So once I'd removed that, I then gave the motor a test, and the motor does actually spin quite well, but every now and then it stops. So it doesn't just stop randomly, but what I mean is you take the power off, and then when the motor's in a certain position it will not start again until you either touch the flywheel and move it, and then it goes off again and is working fine. So this has now led me to believe that the motor was a problem. So I'm checking the Bachmann website, see what's available, the boards available. Couldn't see a motor, but anyway, I'm sure a phone call. So with that in mind, I then began cleaning up all the parts ready for a bit of a repair, cleaning out things like this, these bogey, whatever they're called, these anyway. Cleaning out those, just giving it a bit of a clean up, cleaning up the sides of the chassis, and where there was a little bit of black missing, replace the black. So got all that done, and then just as I'm about to go back on the site to see what's available, I had a look at the bogies, and you can see, if I zoom in, that we actually have a melted bogie, and look at the wheels. So there's the bogie frames melted, which you can see, and you also have, if you look at that one wheel, absolutely distorted, so something has got very hot. Looking at the other bogie, we also have the same thing, even worse on this one. So 2 bogies, a motor, a board. It's almost a write-off. And then of course I just had a peer into the body, and yeah, the body has melted by that fan as well. So that just there you can see where my finger is. So we have what the insurance would term as a write-off, just not financially worth repairing. So a bit disappointed. That is the first total I've had. And it's interesting, this morning I was thinking, what loco shall I pick to pull some coaches? And the Deltic's one of my favourites, so I picked that, and it struggled slightly, so I removed the bogies, gave them a nice clean up. Everything seemed to be working fine, and then all of a sudden I got that alarm. And of course, with these type layouts where you have a helix, sometimes it's not easy to see where the locos are. What I should have done is, instantly I got the alarm, is pulled the plug out. I know I've got the DCC specialty circuit breakers, but the next thing I was worried about was that if it's done this to the bogies, has it, you know, affected the track? But I've just been running locos around, and it doesn't seem like there's any track distortion around, so that is one good thing. But just talking about maintenance, and hey presto, this has happened. So I can only assume possibly that the motor was failing, decoder fried, pins melted, everything's melted. So, and it gives you that absolutely awful smell, the smell of death for those that had any model railways or Sky Electric. Same smell of death that my Dyson vacuum had, but that was a bit more expensive at the time. So with that, I wish you a happy new year, and see you in 2026. Thanks a lot. Bye.